Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to have both time and money? Or why gas prices change overnight? Why some countries thrive while others struggle? Or why that free lunch isn't really free? Welcome to Core Principles Explained. Today, we're diving into the 10 fundamental principles of economics, the simple yet powerful ideas that shape our world, our choices, and even our future. Whether you're a student trying to ace your econ class, an entrepreneur navigating the market, or just someone curious about how things work, these concepts will give you a clearer lens to see the forces behind everyday decisions. From scarcity and opportunity cost to trade, productivity, and inflation, we'll break down each principle with real-world examples, relatable metaphors, and a few surprising insights that might just change how you think. So let's get started. Because understanding economics isn't just about money. It's about making smarter choices in a world full of trade-offs. Scarcity and choice economics starts with a simple but powerful truth. We can't have it all. Our time, money, labor, and natural resources are limited, yet our desires seem infinite. Imagine life as a buffet. Every dish looks tempting, but your plate has only so much room. Choosing to fill it with one thing means leaving something else behind. This constant balancing act is at the heart of economic thinking. Take a real-world example. A high school graduate deciding whether to attend college or start working. College offers long-term benefits, higher earnings and career options, but comes with immediate costs in tuition and lost income. Working means earning money now, but possibly missing out on future opportunities. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. But the key point is, every decision involves a trade-off. A common misunderstanding is to equate scarcity with poverty. Scarcity exists even in wealthy nations. It's not about having too little, but about having limits. Even a billionaire has only 24 hours in a day. Recognizing this reframes how we think about choices, not in terms of deprivation, but in terms of prioritization. Opportunity cost. Every choice comes with a cost. Not just in dollars, but in what we give up. That's the idea behind opportunity cost. Think of choosing a movie for movie night. If you watch a thriller, you miss out on the comedy or drama you could have enjoyed instead. That missed alternative is your opportunity cost, the true price of your decision. Let's say you're in college and considering a part-time job that pays $15 an hour. If you take the job, you earn money, but the opportunity cost might be time not spent studying, which could affect your grades and long-term goals. On the flip side, skipping the job means giving up immediate income. Framing decisions this way helps you think more clearly about what each option really costs. A practical application of this principle is in daily decision-making. Before saying yes to something, ask, what am I saying no to? It's a simple question that reveals hidden trade-offs, helping you make choices that better align with your goals, whether you're managing time, money, or energy. Incentives matter. People often behave in predictable ways when their motivations change, and that's where incentives come in. Think of incentives like carrots and sticks. Rewards draw us in while punishments push us away. Whether it's getting a bonus at work, a parking ticket, or a discount at the store, incentives shape our behavior every day. Take tax credits for installing solar panels. These financial incentives encourage homeowners to invest in renewable energy, not just for the environment, but because it makes economic sense. Businesses, too, respond to incentives, offering discounts to boost sales or raising wages to attract better talent. The key is that incentives don't have to be huge to be powerful. Even small nudges can steer decisions. A common misconception is that incentives are only about money. In reality, social and moral incentives like praise, guilt, or peer pressure can be just as influential. A parent praising a child for sharing or a city naming green businesses publicly taps into deeper human drives. Understanding this makes it easier to influence outcomes in everything from policy design to personal habits. Marginal thinking. Not all decisions are all or nothing. Often we weigh whether to do a little more or a little less. That's marginal thinking. Imagine filling a cup of coffee. At some point, adding one more drop risks an overflow. That final drop, and whether it's worth adding, is the marginal decision. Consider a business that produces smartphones. Should it make one more unit? The answer depends on whether the revenue from that extra phone is greater than the cost of making it. If the marginal cost is lower than the marginal benefit, it's a go. This kind of thinking helps businesses optimize operations and avoid waste, and it applies in daily life too. Here's a practical application. You're at a buffet and feeling full. Should you get another plate? Marginal thinking asks, will that extra bite bring more satisfaction and discomfort? This approach encourages mindful, efficient decision-making, whether you're spending money, time, or calories. Trade can make everyone better off. Trade isn't just about economics, it's about cooperation and trust. Think of two neighbors. One bakes amazing bread, the other grows the best tomatoes. Rather than each trying to do both poorly, they trade, and both enjoy better meals. That's the essence of trade, specializing in what you do best and exchanging to get what you need. On a larger scale, countries like Japan specialize in electronics, while Brazil focuses on coffee. Through trade, both nations benefit from greater variety and efficiency than if they tried to be self-sufficient. This principle applies whether you're swapping lunch with a coworker or negotiating billion-dollar trade deals. A common misconception is that trade is a zero-sum game, that if one side wins, the other loses. In reality, voluntary trade happens because both parties see a benefit. Yes, trade can disrupt industries and require adjustments, but when done fairly, it raises living standards across the board. Understanding this helps counter fears and myths about globalization. Markets are usually efficient. Markets are like well-tuned instruments. When left to play naturally, they often produce harmony. Picture a farmer's market. Sellers set prices based on what they have, buyers choose based on what they need. No central planner dictates the terms, yet everything mostly works out. That's the invisible hand at work, a term coined by Adam Smith to describe how individual choices driven by self-interest can lead to collective benefit. Take concert tickets. When demand is high, prices go up. That might seem unfair, but it signals to promoters to add more shows and helps allocate seats to those who value them most. Similarly, if a store overprices an item, customers shop elsewhere, pushing prices down. In this way, markets send signals about scarcity, demand, and value without anyone needing to coordinate it all. But markets aren't always perfect. A key misconception is that efficiency equals fairness. A market might efficiently allocate resources, like housing, but still leave some people unable to afford a place to live. That's where discussions about equity, access, and ethics enter the picture. Still, for allocating goods and services swiftly and effectively, markets are hard to beat. Government can sometimes improve market outcomes. While markets are powerful, they're not flawless. Sometimes they stumble. And that's where governments can play a constructive role. Think of a chaotic soccer game without a referee. Rules are ignored, fouls go unpunished, and the game becomes unfair. A referee doesn't play the game but helps it function better. Similarly, governments step in not to replace markets but to fix their failures. A classic example is pollution. A factory might produce cheap goods but pollute the air in the process. The market price doesn't reflect this hidden cost to society. By imposing carbon taxes or regulations, governments can internalize these externalities, making sure the price of goods includes their full impact. Other roles include providing public goods like street lighting or national defense. Things the market has little incentive to offer on its own. However, intervention isn't always a silver bullet. Too much regulation can create inefficiencies, stifle innovation, or even lead to corruption. The key is balance, knowing when and how to step in and when to let markets run their course. It's a reminder that good intentions need good economics behind them. Productivity drives long-term growth. In the long run, what determines a country's prosperity isn't its natural resources or population, it's productivity. Imagine a construction crew building homes. If they upgrade from hand tools to power tools, they build faster and better with the same effort. That's what productivity means, more output from the same input. Look at the Industrial Revolution. Machines, new energy sources, and improved processes drastically increased how much a single worker could produce. More recently, digital technology has done the same for information and services. These gains have fueled higher wages, better living standards, and more time for leisure and innovation. If you're wondering how this affects you, Boosting productivity isn't just for CEOs or economists. It's about education, health, infrastructure, and innovation, things that help people do more with their time and skills. For individuals and nations alike, investing in these areas isn't a luxury. It's the engine of future prosperity. Inflation and money supply are linked. Inflation, the rise in prices over time, can feel like an invisible tax, slowly eating away at your purchasing power. Picture making soup. A little water stretches the broth, but too much dilutes the flavor. Likewise, printing more money can stimulate spending, but overdo it, and prices rise, while value erodes. That's the delicate balance central banks try to manage. Consider Zimbabwe in the 2000s, or Venezuela more recently. Both countries printed massive amounts of money to cover government deficits. The result? Hyperinflation, where prices double in days and basic goods become unaffordable. It's a stark reminder that controlling the money supply is critical to economic stability. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank, adjust interest rates and regulate money supply to keep inflation in check. When done well, this maintains confidence and purchasing power. For everyday people, it means your savings retain value and your wages can buy what they used to. Understanding this link helps explain why monetary policy matters, even if it feels far removed from daily life. There's no such thing as a free lunch. We all love a good deal, but in economics, nothing is truly free. Imagine getting a free donut at a coffee shop. It might not cost you money, but it brought you into the store, made you more likely to buy coffee, and someone still had to bake that donut. The cost just shifted somewhere else. Look at public services like healthcare or education. While they may be free at the point of use, they are funded through taxes. Or consider free apps and social media. You're not paying with cash, but with your data and attention. These models prove the principle. If you're not the customer, you're probably the product. A frequent misconception is to mistake free to me with free in reality. This misunderstanding can lead to overuse, underappreciation, or flawed policy debates. Recognizing that every benefit carries a cost, whether hidden or shared, leads to smarter choices as both consumers and citizens. So there you have it, the 10 core principles of economics. From why we make choices to how prices work and what drives growth, these ideas help us understand the complex systems around us with surprising clarity. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. You're officially curious enough to think like an economist. Feel free to leave a comment below with any future topics you'd like us to break down, whether it's the principles of psychology, politics, technology, or anything else. We're here to explain it from the ground up. And remember, because everything complicated started simple.